Hey YouTube, it is Jessica Gordon, and today we're going to talk all about losing my job when I was working as a director and what I learned, what lessons I learned, as well as how important it is to follow your intuition. A little bit about myself, if you're new to my channel and just not familiar with me, I am a former classroom teacher. So I taught middle school for 7 years. And during that time, my trajectory was moving up rather quickly. By my second year teaching, I was already training for my entire school district, all the seventh grade science teachers. Within 4 years, I was already getting my master's degree, and my school was paying for it in full, my books, my travel, everything. So my trajectory has been very quick. I was doing professional development around technology as like a fifth year teacher. Okay, so even if I was a fourth year teacher, matter of fact, so things just moved rather quickly for me. So once I got my master's degree, 2 years later, I became an instructional technology specialist for the 18th largest school district in the United States. So I had a lot of schools. We have 176 schools in this particular district, and so I was very busy. I was meeting a lot of people. I was very active. And so at the time, my supervisor ended up leaving, and so I was in a situation where I just was not sure like what was next for me. So I was very comfortable with where I was. I wasn't happy that my supervisor was leaving because we had a really good relationship, but I knew what I was doing. So I was comfortable with staying put. So then who took the place of my supervisor called me into her office one day and she said, "Hey Jessica, had you considered the director position?" And I said, I'm familiar. I've been in education for a decade, so I'm very familiar. I was like, "Oh no, I didn't even check it out because I knew that you had to have an admin license." So I have my master's degree, and most people get their master's and get their admin license at the same time. But as I mentioned to you, my trajectory was fast, but it was different, and my master's is in instructional technology. So did not have my admin license, did a lot of admin things, but never had my admin license. And so she was like, "No, you don't need your admin license to apply for the director position." And I was like, "That's weird." Like I immediately, spidey senses were tingling. And so I went home, I told my husband, I was like, "Babe, like there's a position, it's $30,000 more." And my husband immediately like, "What's the question? Like, if she already telling you should apply and she the one that's hiring, like, what is the question?" Like, for him, it was like a no-brainer. And for me, I tried to process what I was feeling because I felt something. I felt very strange. Like, I was like, I know you're supposed to have an admin position to work this job because I know what this job is. It leads principals, and I felt uncomfortable about it. And so I told my husband that I didn't want to look like an opportunist. I remember using that word, and my husband was like, "You think a CEO of a company, if they're offered a position that, like, how do you ever become the CEO if you don't take an opportunity that's presented to you?" And that was his perspective for me. And I was just like, "I just don't know, babe. I just don't know how I feel about this." Like, I was very uncertain. I did not follow my intuition. Everything in me was tingling to not take this position because I knew to lead principals, you need to have been a principal before, right? And then my husband and I spoke about it again because she was kind of like, "Well, Jessica, just apply, let's interview." And so he really encouraged me throughout the whole interview process. And he was just like, in his opinion, the people who I was worried about and what they would say about me, in his mind, he's like, if they were given opportunity, they take it right up under you, And I was like, well, dang, that's true for sure. Because if people could get a $30,000 pay raise, baby, they do it too. So I kind of let that take away from what I felt in my spirit because one, I didn't want more money. We were having a child. We had just had a child. We just had Cayenne. So we had 2 kids, $30,000 in my house. Like that would make a big difference. So I was excited about it, right? But what I learned in that situation, so I ended up being in that position, you all, for a little bit over a year, and I was let go. Not only was I let go, the people that I hired were let go. And it was very painful for me, you all. I was told that we would be losing our positions a few days before they were going to tell my employees that were working underneath me. And my supervisor told me that I was not allowed to share with my employees. She said, or you will lose your job sooner, because they told me in March. Well, they told us in March that we'd be losing our job 2020, right before the pandemic hit, a week before everything shut down. But they told us we'd be losing our position. They told us that we could work up until June 30th. And so she told me when she set me down that she was letting the entire department to go 12 of us. She said if I were to share with my employees that I would lose my position sooner. Now, mind you, this paying for my baby insurance and mine and my husband's, and at the time my stepson's. So for me, it was very difficult. I mean, I felt sick on my stomach. I didn't come to work for 2 days after I found out. You know, my husband was like, babe, you gotta, if your supervisor said you can't say nothing, why are you feeling so bad? But I felt that because I had hired these individuals, I felt a responsibility to them. And it was very painful for me. And so I'm not saying that you should go against what a supervisor says to you. I'm speaking on what I learned, that I don't want to work for nobody else no more. I don't ever want to be put in a position where I have to keep secrets or lie to someone that I'm building a team with. I call them team. I call them team family. Like, that is not my spirit. And it was very difficult for me. My husband says I wear my heart on my sleeve, or I'm a softie, a bucket of water. I'm all of those things. But it was just hard for me, you all. Like, I did not feel well about, and I only had to keep the secret for 2 days. Well, it might have been 3 days. But I went missing the first day, and then I ended up going out to eat with them because they knew something was wrong because I didn't show up the next day. And I had to lie in their face, and it was terrible. It was a very, very low time in my life for me, you all. I did not feel good about it. And so losing my position as a director, and then when I reflected on just a year prior that I knew that I should not have applied for it, but I allowed myself not to listen to my intuition. And I don't fault my husband, because like, if he came home and said, baby, we can make this $30,000, I'd be like, well, what's the risk? You know, so I'm not upset with him at all, but I truly learned that I have to be in tune with myself, and I have to listen to myself. Okay. So if you're in a situation where you've lost your position and you're feeling down on yourself, or you have difficulty listening to your intuition, I'm telling you to just start very small by listening to what you feel. That is number one. That is the first lesson I want you to take from this video and this conversation. Please, you all, follow your gut, honor your instincts, because the more that you don't honor and trust your instincts, the more it's going to be harder later to follow your instincts when you need to. Okay. It's 2022. It has taken me 2 years to heal, to even like really say everything like this of what has happened, because it was so painful for me. I felt so ashamed. I felt so embarrassed. One, about losing my job because I had never had any performance issues, but two, I had hired individuals and I had called them team and I had called them family, and they gave me a baby shower. Like, I don't play like that with people that I bring in my circle. And although they weren't in my, it was a professional circle, but I don't ever want to have to operate like that. And so I made a decision, you all, that I'm going to work for myself or, within my family, but I'm an entrepreneur now and I have a job, but I work remotely. I don't have to be in somebody's face every day. So lesson number one, follow your gut, honor your intuition. It is critical. Lesson number two is believe that what is for you is for you. I think that I got caught up in, we got kids, $30,000. I don't know when I'm gonna get this opportunity again. There was not an opportunity to really move up in any other ways with the Masters of Instructional Technology, because I'm not the IT side of it, where I'm doing engineering or software or coding. And I really didn't have a desire to become a principal anymore at that time. So I felt like, I think when you're acting out of desperation, because I didn't see any other opportunities to move forward, I saw this as the opportunity, and when would I ever get another one? Don't think like that. Believe. No. Not just believe. You need to know that what is for you is for you. And that is what I've learned. And so now I'm in this space of, because I now had to learn the hard way that what is for me is for me, I don't have to take everything. So now that I'm in real estate, I've had to fire clients because all money not good money. I have learned that lesson. All money not good money. So just being mindful that whatever is for you is for you, and you can walk in that. Third thing, last thing I'm gonna share is move with integrity. As I mentioned, it was very shameful to know that these individuals had families and would be losing their job, and I was not able to share because I was told I could not, and I also chose not to because I didn't want to be let go sooner, because my children's health insurance and my own health insurance was involved with this position, and I wanted to keep it for the last few months because it was COVID going on. And so in my opinion, that was not fully moving with integrity, because I did sit with those individuals for 2 to 3 days knowing that they had lost their job, were going to lose their jobs, and I had to tell them that there was nothing wrong or that I didn't know what was going on. It was so painful for me. God, I hated it. But those are the 3 steps, and those are the 3 lessons that I learned: to always follow your intuition, trust it, honor it. Secondly, believe. Not just believe, you need to know that what's for you is for you, and move with integrity. Have you ever lost a position? Share in the comments. What did you learn through that situation? What could you share with me that were lessons for you? I would love to learn from you. As I said, I'm just now healing, so I'm still healing through this, and would love to commune and have conversation with you all and how you got over certain situations. But yes, please like, subscribe, and comment, or share with someone that you know that needs this. As always, love and light to you. And until next time, YouTube.